Welcome to Coastal Compass, allegedly a podcast. We've got today Lee White from the University of Mobile. We're going to talk about a little bit about Montgomery and what it was for you guys to move down here right after this.
Lee, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
So you're originally from Montgomery.
Born and raised. Yeah.
Born and raised, but you kind of detoured before you came down here.
A little bit. Yeah, I've been in the food industry for 32 years now. So detouring in the food industry was sure, I'll go there. Where do I need to go?
Yeah, okay. So
and Biloxi was one of the places that kind of hit me right.
So tell a story on how Levi got you interested in doing the podcast, because you were talking about our little bar shorts that we do, Raising the Bar.
Right.
You did an original Raising the Bar years ago.
Yeah.
Back in Biloxi.
Smirnoff vodka came into town, excuse me, and we're wanting to get local fair drinks, coastal, islandy type drinks.
Okay.
So they came in and shot a deal to put in a book. Back then it was not online, it was in a book.
Yeah.
This was cell phones were barely around. But so they did one, and I did a Lee's Day in the Shade, and they liked the idea, and it kind of kicked off and ended up that was Bombay Bicycle Club at the time.
And that's no longer here.
No, that one unfortunately went away. It was a very well visited establishment back in the day.
Well, I mean, even how old was that thing? Because when
I
showed
was
up
30
in
plus
95,
years old. It'd been there for a while.
Yeah, when I showed up in 95, it had been there a while.
Yeah.
And what made it close?
The company just
They couldn't compete really, right?
well, in that industry, in the food and beverage industry, especially when you're in corporate settings, you got to be changing. And they stuck with this, safari, 80s, 90s, dark
Right.
wood, brass, and just stayed there. And everybody else was changing and evolving, and they couldn't carry the weight. There's one Bombay Bicycle Club, as I know of, still remaining.
Where's it?
And it's a franchisee, and it's over in Georgia.
Okay.
Wow, that'd be interesting to see. I wonder if they kept the hardwood and the brass.
They've still got the bar area the same way. I mean, we had a great bar crowd. We had a guy that owned a chauffeur company that we actually ran a phone and put it in the bar for him by his chair, where his phone would come straight there, and he'd pick up the phone, and answer, Bob Schaefer's,
That was
and
his
Yeah.
office
Why
was
he's
at
sitting
the
at
bar.
the
his office was at the bar while he was having a cocktail, and he would hang up the phone and call one of his drivers and go, "You need to go to the airport and pick up so and so."
Okay. That's a little better. I'm sitting here picturing this guy going, "I'll be right there." Finish his drink.
No.
And then take
He
off.
he was the guy that owned it. He would literally sit there and answer
That was
the
his
phone.
dispatch area.
Yeah, that was we were his dispatch. He brought a lot of clients and a lot of business, so we ran the line from the back and ran it up through the bar and dropped it down and put a old push button phone there and had a little light on it so it wouldn't ring, so the light would light up and
Right.
he'd know, there's your bat phone there.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I could see some of these Uber drivers sitting at the bar, certainly in New Orleans, and go, "Oh crap, I got to go pick up somebody."
He actually called them a few times or we did, to take him home.
Come get the old man. That's funny.
I was there when the first casinos started coming in.
So you're in your probably late 20s,
mid
20s, working in the industry.
Right.
First casino comes in, second one comes in. What's the just the feel?
Well, to be honest, the tough part was we were losing all our good people. I mean, you had the Isla Capri came in,
Yeah.
the Biloxi Belle, then you had the Grand, and back then that was down at the Yacht Club.
Okay.
When the Grand came in, and all your good bartenders were heading to the casinos. Are you good waitresses? Heading to the casinos. And it was a kind of a,
Just from a staffing
rough
issue.
road right
Yeah.
through that. But then all of a sudden, you had an influx of people coming down to work. Well, they're closed now, so I can't get in trouble. We actually, our license was only till 2:00.
Okay.
Well, whenever the Biloxi Bell opened, John Bell came over, and we made a deal with him. His folks had come over when their shift ended at 2:30 in the morning, so we started staying open from 2 to 7 for the casino staff.
Oh, wow.
Almost like a service industry night, sin night.
One cook, 2 bartenders, half the building blacked out, just the bar area. They could come in and had a very minimal menu,
Yeah.
and they would come and sit and have reminiscing cocktails of their night. And
It's just a
something to
place to, after you get off work, and go hang out. And
well, back then there wasn't a lot of places
no.
close there. You had to go all the way down to the IHOP or the Waffle House that
Yeah.
was down by the mall.
All right, so I got to go back to A Day in the Shade.
Yep,
Do you remember the recipe?
I do. I sent it to our friend that's not here this evening.
Levi
Yeah.
did not make it in today.
Well, this is, he's millennial. We can't.
Yeah.
He gets sick real easy. Yeah, I think it's called Sunday afternoon.
Is
But I wouldn't
Post
say
Mardi
that.
Gras?
I wouldn't say that in public. I would never put that on the podcast.
No, it's well, again, Smirnoff had come in and was doing it. So it was Smirnoff vodka, it was Malibu coconut rum, guava juice, and then splash of cranberry, and then top it off with the Captain Morgan spice rum.
Holy cow.
And
That's a
then
lot of liquor.
a little bit of shake there, and pineapple and a cherry. There
Sounds
you
like
go.
a beach drink.
Yeah, reminds you of the sun for a minute.
You wind up going from that environment to where you are now, or is there something?
No,
in between?
I went to casinos. I was in
Okay, you did do
casinos
the
for quite a
casino
while,
deal.
yeah.
Which
Up
casinos?
at- well, it was actually in Alabama. It was Victoryland and Birmingham Racecourse. Which
Oh,
Okay.
wow, yeah.
I passed that today.
the McGregor family. I graduated high school with his oldest daughter
Okay.
and his youngest daughter. We all grew up together. But I was there when it was still a dog track, and then developed into the casino and hotel and steakhouse and everything else, and then the Birmingham Racecourse with the horses and
Right.
the dogs.
I hated that the horses didn't work out there, but
It wasn't the fact of lack of the ability to get horses; it was the cost. If you're the track, you pay for all the feed for the dogs and for the horses. So that was a big chunk of money when you're.
yeah, being a horse lover and having horses is a very expensive hobby.
It is.
All right.
I don't even know how they put hobby with that.
But down here, there's a lot of places that will help you out. Horse farms, horse boarding.
Yeah, I wonder if the
See.
polo and the point is ever going to come back, or has it come back? I don't know.
I thought they did something recently.
Maybe they did.
We'll have to check into that.
We will.
Playing with Victoryland in the state of Alabama, they had some issues.
Didn't they take the
Machines
out and everything?
And again, I was there, and this is back in Bob Riley days, so I don't think there's any issue with.
Well, I don't think we're going. I don't see any sniper.
Yeah. Well, I'm
guns
just
looking at us right now.
Mr.
so-
McGregor went to them and said he would combine with Green Track, which was in West Alabama.
Yep. Utah.
Birmingham would combine with Mobile, the dog track down that was in Mobile, and they would all four contribute $90 million to the Alabama Medical Fund.
Okay.
And Riley turned it down. He wouldn't even consider it. And then the next year, they were borrowing money for the medical fund.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. And Friday, apparently, the House.
The
says
thing that
we're-
was in there 20 years ago when Don Siegelman was in there
Yeah.
is coming right back, which should have, if it would have gone 15 years ago, the school systems all across Alabama would be
A little bit better.
a lot better shape.
It is a tax on certain people, the people that want to do it.
Right.
And you just got to get over it. That's the
Right.
biggest thing. I can't understand why everybody's telling me I can't do certain things.
Well, Mr. McGregor, whenever Shorter, Alabama, Macon County, where Victoryland was at, very low income area.
Yep.
He had over 2,000 employees there. He paid for all of their personal and family medical insurance. They didn't pay a dime.
Wow.
He had people that had worked there for 25, 27 years. And their kids come to work there. The grandkids that started to work there, and their medical and everything was paid for.
Mm-hmm.
He paid for every bit of it. And that to me was like, where else are you going to find that? That doesn't.
Yeah, and
it's
this
40%
is
unemployment.
Yeah, for those that don't know, this is right in between Tuskegee and Montgomery, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes east of Montgomery on 85.
Yep.
Right.
All right.
Still had one of the coolest signs ever.
Oh yeah, the 777.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best signs ever.
I've
It's still up
I've
there.
still got one of the shirts. It's black with a
Is it still there?
lime green. Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there. It's every time you pass by, it's.
They've got machines back in there now. They're different machines, and this legislation, if it goes through, will literally change that whole area again. When they did it the first time and the second time and the third time,
right.
it really hurt that county. Mr. McGregor had redid the water line system for the whole city and the county. He'd redone the police department. He bought them vehicles, fire department, fire trucks.
You eventually make it down here.
About a little over a year ago.
Okay.
In December of 22, our daughter and son-in-law and grandkids made the move down ahead of us.
Okay.
And our other daughter lives in Panama City with our other granddaughter. My wife and I both were like, I don't want to drive down there and have to come back. And so I started looking and was fortunate to go to work with the University of Mobile in what is one of the most amazing jobs I've ever had. Baptist University, very nice, 800 acres. The president of the university was actually a student who graduated from there in the 80s, and now he's the president. So my wife's company, she's in the medical field, company out of Atlanta, and so she was able to transfer to the east coast. To the coast, we've written a very thick book in the last 12 months. I could tell you every pebble on 65 from Montgomery to Mobile.
Wow, that's got to be rough.
That is the most boring drive.
It is.
I've driven all over a lot of the South.
After Georgiana or whatever, there's a stretch through there where there's no lights. There's nothing on the exits. If it's at nighttime.
There's one radio station.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God for
Sirius XM.
Sirius XM.
If you hold your hand right, if you don't have Sirius.
Wow.
All right, so y'all moved down. You on this side of the bay, or
we're right here, 1/8 of a mile from downtown.
When the grandkids are coming in, when folks are coming in, where are y'all going out?
A couple of the places we really like to go is Southern Junction.
Oh, Southwood Kitchen.
Southwood
that's Kitchen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
South
gosh.
Bar, which I
Yes.
don't know really much about.
No, I've never been there. I didn't know it existed. South Bar, never.
But
heard
it's
of it.
right next door. So when you're waiting, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'll be there tomorrow night. My best friend from high school. We were roommates in high school. He's coming in town with his new girlfriend, and that's where we're going tomorrow night. So
All
I'm
right.
really looking forward to that.
I'm glad we're talking about Southwood because I'm thinking Southern Junction. I was like, is that one of those 3-in-1s or something?
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That was a good day.
Southwood's awesome.
Another one I will seriously is here at the Dragonfly. We love the bowls. We closed on the house this past Wednesday in Montgomery. Drove down, and my wife was like, I want one of those bowls. I want one of those cold beers. So let's go. So that's where we went and had our first officially here for good type evening. We like Tamara's has been really nice for brunch. It's right by our daughter's store. So
let's mention your daughter's store since we're on here.
Yeah.
thank you.
Because it just opened up. It's called Monkeys
of Fairhope. It's a ladies' clothing boutique that is in the old location that used to be the Yard, I guess, ice cream.
Right. You remember
Parlor.
the Yard, the big ice cream things over there behind Section Street Pizza?
Section Street Pizza's good, though.
You know,
Mhm.
I've not had it
I'm
yet. Isn't that
telling you.
crazy?
My favorite one is their garlic pepperoni.
They had the ribbon cutting.
I had the
for
ribbon
Monkeys.
cutting about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
My
My wife's an ambassador for the chamber,
oh wow.
and so she was able to go over there and see that. So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Our daughter, she graduated from South Alabama, and was wanting to go into interior design and things like that. Her husband graduated from Spring Hill,
Okay.
and he's a nurse practitioner in vascular surgery. So she's done really well. Beautiful place.
Great location.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is because of just the atmosphere right there in the area.
They're living here in town, right?
Yeah, they live in Sandy Ford.
So is she doing the public schools or is she doing one of the
She
private
is.
schools?
She's actually doing public schools, and the kids love it.
Hey, I'm
The kids
a
love it.
huge proponent of the public schools.
Oh, that again, transition from Montgomery down here is, I hate to say the twilight zone, but it's just like, man, it's like a flashback to 30 years ago of the mentality of the school system. I mean, they're teaching these kids.
Now, Abigail she suffered through like any girl's going to suffer through, but the system served her extremely well.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so many opportunities for her.
And
There is.
Before we wrap up, I told you, if you could change anything about living down here, what would it be?
not have my feet wet enough down here yet, but I mean, the in and out, like we talked about before we got on. Wish the road was a little wider, maybe. Wish there was more than the old adage, one way in and one way out. But we've been very fortunate since we've been coming down here. The mentality of the people that we meet. I went to Tammy's to watch the Auburn game because a lot of Auburn people were there. And we ended up meeting a couple that never met them in our life, and they're nicest people. They live 2 blocks away from us, and that kind of mentality to me, I think, is just you shouldn't change it for the world. You should bottle it.
And when you say one way in, one way out, you're talking about like getting across the bay.
Yeah, because I have to go to Mobile, so
Yeah, because you're over at the University of Mobile, which is way
you got
over
a 15, 20-minute swing. If you're 15 or 20 minutes off,
Well, you got to know, you got to listen to 92 Zoo. They're the only ones that really report on the Bay more than anybody. And you got to learn that kind of look when you're coming over. It's like, all right, am I going to do the interstate or am I going to go to the Bay?
Oh, no, my son-in-law taught me right immediately. He goes, go to the Bay. He goes, don't turn right, don't do it. I did it once. Took me an hour and 5 minutes to get to work.
All right, so I was in here talking to. I'm finding more and more people that live in Mobile and work here.
Right.
So they're doing the reverse commutes now, and I was talking to one of the lenders, and he was kind of giving me, I was hazing him a little bit about. He was complaining about the traffic. I was like, man, there is no traffic here. This is not bad. Friday when I take off and head out of town,
right,
it takes 50 minutes for me to get from here to the interstate.
Wow.
50 minutes. All right, there is traffic. We got to work on some of this, but
over the last year, the only time she's been down is like when we were off for the weekend and coming down to hang out. And so this morning I said, all right, you're going to get to experience this. She's like walking around. I said, you need to get in the car. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm leaving. You need to get in the car. And she goes, why? I said, you got about 7 minutes. And it's going to take you 30 minutes longer just to get to I-10.
yeah.
No way. No. Like I told you, one way in and one way out. And if you're 15-minute swings one way or the other, it can make your day completely different.
I remember on Fridays, and again, I haven't really worked in Mobile in 7 or 8 years. But on Fridays, if I didn't leave the pharmacy at 12 o'clock, I'd just stay till 7.
Right.
I mean, because it's only a 45-minute drive from my house to Midtown.
That's what I do on Thursday at the university. I'll stay late on Thursday because Thursday there for us that's our Friday because students don't have class on Friday. Faculty's not in on Friday.
Let's see if we can get Austell to build us a few high-speed ferries.
Back and forth.
That'd be awesome.
That's what he's been talking about this for a long time. These
I'm trying to find somebody,
Hey, Lee,
I'm with you on that one.
He wants you to join his chapter of Bring the Ferry Back to Fairhope. He wants to build a pier out here right out.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I want you go to the end of the pier, you jump, or no, you drive onto a ferry,
That's right.
and then you're in downtown Mobile in like 10 minutes. I want it high speed, shoot me over there.
And then when all the water's out of the bay,
Those things, though, I mean,
it doesn't take a lot if it's like a
No.
hovercraft or something. That's true.
The airboat. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got some cool stuff over in Australia and Sydney that they're doing.
Oh yeah. Anything special going on at the University of Mobile that you think we ought to know about?
The university does a lot of stuff for the students and things, and they do a lot of things locally. They've got a thing coming up in April where they're going to have Mike Pompeo is going to be the guest speaker.
Okay.
For their fundraiser of the year, and that's a pretty big deal. We just had the Italian Stallion, Johnny Musso, last semester was there for a fundraiser from the University of Alabama.
Right.
All right.
And that money they take that money and put it into scholarships for the kids.
Lee, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. I'm glad Levi got you on, and I hate that he's not here, but we do appreciate
That's
your
okay.
time.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it for not being here.
Yeah, let him know.
Please do. Please do. All right, guys, that's a wrap for us tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining us. It really means a lot to us. Hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification, please. And if you want to be a guest, all you got to do is contact Chris, Levi, or myself, and we'll be happy to get you on here. We got guests booked through March, so that is fantastic news for us. And apparently people like coming on and enjoy watching it. Thank you, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one.